Welcome, everyone, to It's Time to Excel. Believe it or not, another week has passed. And we're going to talk a little bit about this week. And you notice I'm in a little different area. And I'm not sure about the what. You know what? We're just going to make it work. Because part of owning a business, how often is it that we just have to be a little adaptable? Things don't always work as planned. Here in North Carolina, some things got a little crazy on, Monday, and we had snow. We actually still have snow, which is quite a little abnormal for here in North Carolina. I thought I'd left that from Pennsylvania, but it definitely is making it a little bit interesting because there's snow out there. When there's snow out there, cancellations happen here, like lots of them. So my schedule on Monday got completely topsy-turvy and things got all slid and twisted and turned. And you know what? We're just going to make it work. So, of course, I always love to do my lives and I had it blocked off on my calendar, but I had to move some of Monday stuff to Wednesday. But isn't that as business owners exactly what we do? And we can be adaptable to that. We can actually just, work things around because that's why we have our own businesses. We actually have our businesses so that we can be flexible. And when crazy things happens, we can adjust and account for them. And that same exact thing holds true when it comes to your financial status. Let's think of it this way. That's lots of big words. Bottom line, what am I talking about today? I want you to start thinking about something. When it comes to your financial goals, think of it as the dartboard in front of you. Fabulous. And for those that play darts, maybe you've tried this and you take these little darts and you throw darts at that dartboard. Well, think of those darts as the different steps, the different things that are need to be going to get you to that goal, your bullseye, because that's the ultimate goal. Our ultimate goal is to hit a bullseye. All too often, though, when it comes to our financial goals, that big goal is out there and it's there. We talked a lot about that. And we really dove into that last week, and as we got into our lunch and learns, we had an opportunity to do that and really start to kind of hone in on what are we going to do? How are we going to do it? What direction are we going to go in? How are we going to get to that goal? What are the darts that are required to hit that bullseye? And I'm going to challenge you here today. I want to challenge you that no matter what, when you're throwing those darts, you can even throw them blindfolded and still hit your goals. Think I'm crazy? Yeah, I may be. It's all good. Most people would agree. It's all good. But here's the deal. As we're talking about our financial goals, how can we make sure that we hit our goals regardless of the situation? Regardless if we have to adapt a little bit. And it goes back to one thing. One key thing. Any idea what that might be? What do you think? How can we make sure that we've got steps in place to deal with the unexpected? Because I guarantee you, the unexpected is going to happen, especially when it comes to finances. A computer is going to break, and that's your livelihood. Guess what? You're going to have to get it repaired. Personal life, same time things happen. All of a sudden, the car breaks down, the brakes go out, this goes out, this goes. It's part of life. And you've got to be adaptable to that. So how, and when it comes to our financial goals, can we be adaptable? Here's what I'm going to challenge you to do. First and foremost, I want you to take a moment and we're going to talk about that crazy word. I know you guys love it. It's called budget. If we can take a proactive approach, which means we actually know what our finances are, or at least we have a good plan for it, then maybe, just maybe, we can start keeping on track no matter what happens. And we can actually do that. So first and foremost, it starts with the plan. Yes, that plan, also known as a budget. Many of you have heard me talk about budget is just a four-letter word. And I've heard some interesting four-letter words. I can assure you of that. There's been some very interesting comments when I throw that out there. But I gave you guys a big clue. What's the budget? It's just a plan. So if our first step is to make sure we have a budget in place, that means we have taken a look. We know what our big goal is for the year. And here's the cool thing. Use Microsoft Excel, use Google Sheets, I don't care. Figure out what that means for a monthly basis. So if you want $100,000 in a year, what's that divide up into monthly? Around 8,300. We're doing simple math today. Going from there, what is that a week? How much do you need to bring in each week to know? Okay, now we know what we're doing. We know the direction we're going in. So now we can take steps to know exactly what we've got to do, what direction we've got to go in. We're not relying on absolutely it has to be this every single day. We just know in the end result we have a direction. So we're going to take little steps. We're going to take steps. So if something like a snowstorm comes into play and Monday doesn't quite work out as planned, because that happens, then we know what we need to pick up on Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday or Friday or what we need to juggle, because at the bottom line, we know how much we have to work towards for the week. We know what we've got to work towards for the month, because ultimately all those pieces and those spots go together and the puzzle pieces put together and we can move towards our financial goal. And we don't have to be so concerned about, well, wait a minute, I can't do it. That just it canceled out. What am I going to do? You're just going to take the next step. You're just going to take the next step because you've got that plan in place. So that's the first thing. Let's take it to another level. We know things are going to happen. So how can we structure what we're doing to make sure that we're not quite so panicked when the unexpected, or shall I say, inevitable, end up happening? Because it's going to happen. Computers are going to break. That's the one I tend to use because, of course, that's my livelihood. If my computer goes down, I'm in trouble. I'm in serious trouble. But in your business, what's the one thing that's going to make you look crazy when it breaks, when it changes, when it glitches, when things don't go? Invariably, something's going to happen. So what can we do? Part of your budget, and I want you to challenge you to do this, I want you to take a step back. Okay, we know approximately, let's just use the computer just because that's near and dear to my heart. If it's going to cost me, let's say, $1,200 to replace my computer, 9 times out of 10, average life is what, 2 to 3 years? So I know I'm going to have to work on that. So knowing that, I've got my computer bought for this one. What I can do, and part of my budget, part of my plan, is starting to put money aside. So let's take a big picture. If I know it's going to cost me, as I said, easy math, $1,200 to replace my computer, and I know it's probably going to be probably 2 years down the road for sure. Now there may be some incidental, oopsies or repairs or, things we got to fit in. But let's just take back to basics. If we know that we need $1,200 and we're going to need it in 2 years, the simplest thing we can do is, as money's coming in, okay, $1,200, 2 years, that's 24 months. Okay, well, let's think about this again. Okay, $1,200, 2 years, that's $600 a year. $600 a year divided by how many months in a year? 12 is $50 a month. So one of the simplest things I can do is start taking, as my income's coming in, I automatically move, and even move it out of your account. Many of you heard me talk about my Golden Piggy, and that's another conversation for another day. So make sure you tune in because we're going to bring the Golden Piggy back. But in a nutshell, here's the premise of the Golden Piggy. That Golden Piggy is a separate account. He's a separate account that, in this particular example that we're talking about, where we are taking $50 a month for the next 2 years. As money comes in, I start pushing to make sure at the end of the month I have $50 sitting in the computer fund. Because we know it's going to happen. It's a fact. We know things are going to have to be replaced. We know repairs are going to be necessary. It's part of doing business. And what was the key? If we plan for it, we don't have to be so stressed about it. And that's one of the biggest things. And that's what I really, really, really want to encourage you to do. And I want to challenge you to do that. So figure out start where you're at. Figure out the main thing that's going to cause you a ton of grief if it goes bad or it goes wrong or it breaks. In my case, that would be a computer. So if I start moving $50 back, guess what? In 2 years, when I need to replace that computer, because it's going to happen, and hopefully I get 2 years, maybe I get 2.5 years, a couple extra bucks, not going to be a bad thing, because maybe I can get a $1,400 computer. I don't know. But you want to set yourself up for success, because we want to make sure we have it in our plan so that no matter what happens, We know it's going to happen. We know it's going to happen at some point. If we can be prepared, now all of a sudden we're not dependent upon how much money is in our bank account. And honestly, we can be blindfolded when it comes to our bank account because we know we've got money set aside to be able to account for the craziness, the chaos, the frustrations of owning your own business, and just life in general, because it's going to happen. It's going to be there. We're going to have to deal with it. But by taking just one simple step and planning for it, especially when it comes to your finances, and you can do this with other things. Another thing that I talk to my clients about, and one thing that comes back and quote unquote bites them because they forgot about it, is those yearly dues, those yearly subscriptions. Oh, great. I can save 40, $50 if I pay by the year. That's fabulous. And I encourage you to take full advantage of that. I do. But there's one more step that I also do. Back to Microsoft Excel. Yes, Excel's my other language. We know this. Google Sheets works just as well. List out those yearly subscriptions. I'm in a BNI. That's a chunk of change when it comes to renewal time because you get a really good discount if you buy 2 years. Yeah, I want to do those savings because that's a smart business choice. But that also means it's a few extra dollars. So what do you think that I do? Same kind of concept. I start, I've already got it paid, and now I can take the next step. So if I've got, we're going to use $1,200 again because I can do that math in my head today. If it was $1,200 and I know that I've got to come up with that in 2 years, you already know what that number is. How much do I need to save each and every month? And it's not really save. It's just moving it over to the Golden Piggy. It's a simple step that makes all the difference because come renewal time, what do? Just write the check out of the account or just, in my case, ACH it out of the account or throw it in my credit card and pay my bill because it's sitting over there that I don't have to get stressed about it. And for those that have payroll, I encourage you to have yet a separate account because this concept works across the boards. And that's exactly what we're trying to do. We want to set ourselves up so that we are constantly throwing darts towards that bullseye, the bullseye that makes the difference because we want to hit that bullseye each and every time. And we can do it even blindfolded. If we have the right plan in place, you know exactly the direction you're going and you can hit it each and every time, blindfolded or not. And that's what I challenge you to do. So thank you guys for joining me. It was such a pleasure to have you guys here. And that's just the first step to get going. And I want to invite you to come back each and every Wednesday at 11:30 for It's Time to Excel because my goal is very simple. It is to inspire and ignite the possibilities for you. It was great to have you here. Make sure you tune in next time because we're going to be talking about a fun little game. Anybody ever play Whack-A-Mole? Come back and learn how it can actually help you for an accounting system going forward. So happy New Year, everyone. Happy January. Have a wonderful day. If you're in North Carolina, bundle up a little bit because there's still snow out there. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Take care, everyone.